Hi everyone. In this session, we will discuss about mass storage management. So, if you want to store huge amount of data or huge volume of data, it is possible to store only in secondary storage devices. Okay. So, in secondary storage device or in secondary storage or in secondary memory only, the massive data or huge amount of data or huge volume of data is stored. Okay. So, the best example for secondary storage device is magnetic disk, magnetic tape, etc. So, we will discuss with magnetic disk or disk structure, we will see. So, here the disk structure is nothing but, if you see, here we have, so this is spindle. This is a long spindle. Okay. So here the disk, this is magnetic disk. This is magnetic disk. The magnetic disk, it consists of, see, number of plates. Okay. All these are number of plates. Okay. All these are number of plates. Okay. So here inside a cylindrical shape will be there and this will be rotating. Okay. So each plate consists of different tracks. See, this is one track, this is one track, this is one track, like that. Each plate consists of different tracks and each track consists of different sectors. All these are different sectors. Okay. So, whenever we store any data or any information, that will be stored inside. Whereas the magnetic disk is non-volatile. It is non-volatile in nature, means it stores permanently. Okay. So here what we are doing is, we have different types of disk scheduling algorithms for there. They are nothing but FCFS, shortest seek scheduling, scan scheduling and look scheduling. We will see them each with an example. So, if you see, we will see them with an example. So, types of disk scheduling algorithms. Okay, these are broadly of 4 varieties. We have shown them. Okay. So, we will see each in detail with an example. So, coming to the first one, first come, first scheduling. First come, first scheduling, FCFS. First come, first scheduling here. So, this is the request queue. This is the request queue. See, the request queue is 10, 95, 23, 78, 80. The head starts at 50. So 50 is here. The header starts at here. Okay, the header starts at here. So first come, which came first? First 10 came. Okay, 10 came first. Okay, so that's why from 50 we moved to 10 first. See, from 50 we moved to 10 first. Because 10 came first. 10 was requested first. Next we went to 95 because second is 95. So it moved from here to 95. Okay, this is second. Third is 23. Again from 95 to again 23 came. Okay, and this is third. From 23, the fourth is 78. 23 to 78. 78. Next 78 to 80. 78 to 80. Okay, so like that. The first come first scheduling algorithm works. Okay, so we are discussing about disk scheduling algorithms. There are 4 varieties. We are discussing the first one. Okay, so this is the request queue or request order. Okay, so accordingly, first, whatever the request we got first, we have to ascend that order first. Okay, the header starts at 50. 50 to 10, 10 to 95, 95 to 23, 23 to 78, 78 to 80. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, coming to second one, it is shortest seek time first. So here also let us suppose we have taken the same example, request queue. The order is 10, 95, 23, 78 and 80. So here also the header starts at 50. Okay, so the name itself, it is very clear that shortest seek time first. Shortest seek time first means, so from 50, which one is closer? So 50 to, suppose 50 is here, which is closer? 50 to 10, it is 40. 50 to 95, it is around 45. 50 to 23, it is around 27. 50 to 78, it is 28. 50 to 80, it is 30. If you see which one is closer, 27 means 23 is closer. Hope you have understood. We have to identify the header starts at 50. From 50, which one is closer out of these 5 elements? 10, 10, okay, 40 is the distance. 95, 45 is the distance from 50. If you consider 23, 27 is the distance. If you consider 78, 28 is the distance. If you consider 80, 30 is the distance. So we identified 23 is the shortest distance. So that's why from 50 we went to 23. From 23, now we move to 23. From 23, which one is closer? So 23 to 90, it is long. 23 to 98, it is long. 78. From 23, 95, 78, 80, all are long compared with 10. So 10 is closer. So 23 to 10. So 10 is second. So from 10, which is closer? 78, 80, 95. 78 is closer. That's why we move to 78 next. So third one is 78. From 78, 80 is closer. So next 80. So balance is 95 only. So we need to 95. So this is the way how we have to process in shortest seek time first scheduling. Okay, right? And we'll move to the next one. So that is scan scheduling. Scan scheduling. So scan scheduling is nothing but here also what we will do is here also the requested order is this is the requested order. Okay. So here what we do is see the header starts at 50. It started at 50. Okay. So first, the first request is 10, means it is moving towards its left. If you see now, it is moving it towards the left. So as far as 50 is concerned, it is moving towards its right. Okay, so 50 is like that, it is moving towards its right. So in one direction it is moving. So whatever the elements it has, it will cover all those. Okay, it will scan all those. See, 23 is there and 10 is there, and it will come to the last point, till the last point. Okay, it will cover, it will go through the entire, okay, till the ending, till the boundary, it will search, or it will go, or it will scan. Okay, from 50 to 23, 23 to 10. Next, it will reach the boundary. Okay, now again it will bounce back. Next, it has to reach 78, 78. Next, it has to reach 80. Next, it has to reach 95. So, it will stop there. Okay. So, here what we have done, 50 is the starting point. Okay. From 50, what we have done is, it has to move one direction. Okay. So, it has moved towards 23, 10 till it reaches the boundary. Okay. Next, it has reached the other side also. Next, if you see this, so the header starts at 50. So the starting point now 50, it has moved to, okay, so it has to move towards one direction where it is closer. So 50 to 23 it has moved, 23 to 10, and then it went to the opposite direction. Okay, 78, 80, 95. Okay, like that it has traversed. Okay, so these are the 4 scheduling algorithms. Okay. And next we have, last but not least, we have device drivers. What are device drivers? Device drivers are nothing but if you want to connect any hardware device to the computer, if you want to connect any hardware device to the computer, okay, the computer needs some software to interact with that hardware. For example, if you consider what is the use of operating system, what is the use of operating system? Operating system itself acts as an interface or a mediator between the computer user and the hardware components, because the computer user can't directly interact with the hardware components. In order to access the hardware components or in order to make use of the hardware components, the user wants some access. Okay, some access he needs. So that is provided by the operating system. Here also, suppose if you have any drive, DVD drive or CD drive, okay, if you want to use any DVD drive or CD drive, Okay, simply if you connect no, it's not enough. So that hardware device should be compatible, should be connected with some software. Okay, so that software is to be installed. Similarly, if you have any printer or scanner, if you want to connect any printer or scanner or Xerox machine to the system, okay, some softwares have to be, a software is to be installed inside the computer. Then only when the user gives a print option, then only the printer will print whatever the user gives, whatever the document the user wants to print, that document will be printed by using the printer. Similarly, that particular document will be scanned by when the software is available inside the system. So that's why what the author is telling is, if you want to utilize the resources of any hardware devices, definitely we need to install that related drivers. So that's why it was named under device drivers. If you want to use any device, if you want to make use of any hardware device, that hardware device related software should be installed inside the computer. Then only you can utilize the resources of that device. Okay, so that's why it was named like that. If you see, a device driver is a particular form of software application we have discussed, that is designed to enable interaction with the hardware devices. So by installing this application, it forms or it connects an interaction with the user and the hardware components. Right? Without the required device driver, the corresponding hardware device fails to work. Yes, that's what we have discussed. Suppose if there is no software or if there is no drivers, sometimes if you go to the computer repair shop, they will tell your drivers are gone. Like that they will tell. So there are drivers missing. So see, if there are no related drivers, that particular hardware device will not work. Okay, suppose when you connect the printer, okay, and if that driver related to that printer driver is missing inside the computer, though you give the print option or though you give print, it will not print. Why? Because here the device is missing its drivers. Okay, so a device driver acts as a translator between the hardware device and the operating system that uses it. Okay, so a device driver may also called as software drivers. Till now we were discussing the same. So whatever the hardware system you want to use, whatever the hardware device you want to use, that hardware device related softwares or related drivers should be installed inside the computer. Okay. So with this we will wind up the session. Okay. Thank you.